All right, so here I have launched my Power BI desktop. I'm just going to cancel this pop-up screen that comes up. All right. Okay, so now the first thing I want to do here in creating my report is to extract my data. All right, so we're going to go through the ETL process very quickly. So I want to extract my data. My data is on a list, so I'm going to open this view. All right, so you have my data here on this list. So I'll come to my web browser and copy that URL. All right, I'll copy that URL and then I will come to my Power BI desktop, click on get data. All right, I'll go to more, select more, wait for the dialog box to come up. Just give it a moment or two. Good stuff. So it's up here. Just navigate down. You can search using the search bar or just navigate down here. Online services. The first one you get to see is your SharePoint online list because I'm pulling my data from a list. So I'm going to select SharePoint online list and I would hit connect. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, make sure your implementation is on 2.0. 2.0 and then in the dialog box here I'm going to paste my list, but guess what, I have this warning sign here, so I can't connect to this list. So I'm just going to take use my backspace to clear the URL up to the point where I have list /. All right, here, so where you have your list, so I'm going to clear the list also. Can you see that? So I have my com, that's the ending part of my URL. So this is the URL I'm pulling my list or my data from. All right, so I'm going to click on OK. Now, Power BI Desktop is going to establish a connection to that location. Make sure you have internet connection on your system when you're connecting to a data source that is hosted online. All right, so now you can see in my navigator. So because I'm already signed in, I've skipped a step, but on your screen, most times it will ask you to select an authentication method. So pick Microsoft account, then you're going to hit the sign in button to connect to your data. All right, you have a pop-up screen that would require you to enter your username, your password, just to authenticate that you have access to that list. But I've already authenticated. I've connected to these data points before. All right, so once you've been able to authenticate and sign in successfully, you have this navigator screen, and I'm just going to scroll down here to the data points I want to connect to, which is this guy, facility maintenance app. All right, so remember, we're still trying to extract our data. So once I click on this facility maintenance app, you can see this is a preview of that application, and then I can scroll to the side just to view my data points. All right, so I can see everything here. Okay, and I'm going to check the box. All right, so once you check the box, you see that this load and transform button comes alive. But remember, we are doing our ETL, extract, transform, load. So since we've extracted our data, the next thing we want to do is to what? Transform the data. So I'm going to hit the transform button. All right, so when I hit the transform button, a new screen comes up, which is my Power Query editor. Now, the Power Query editor is where you clean and transform your data. All right, we're not going to spend so much time in our Power Query editor. Of course, there's a whole lot you can do here. We would have more sessions where I would explain the Power Query editor to you. All right, so for now, the only thing I'm going to do here, I can see each of my columns. This is venue name. I'm going to double click on the column header, put a space between the venue and the name. I'll press enter. All right, I can see damaged, observed. I'm going to double click on the column header. Good stuff. I can see here damage image. It's containing a record. I'll skip that. Assigned to is a list. I'll skip that. So we're just trying to build a very simple and basic report. All right. Issue status. I'm going to double click on this guy. I'll call this column just status. All right. So there are three types of status: fixed, new, and in progress. Enter. Then I have my fixed dates. I'll put a space between dates, fixed. All right, enter. The next thing we have, so we have a bunch of columns here that we do not need. So we're going to take all of those columns out very shortly. Okay, so date inspected. Let's also do that. Put a space between it. Comments. So I'm gonna put this guy here as comments. So just take the inspection out. Comments. Okay. What else? What else? Cost. So where I have cost fixed, I'm gonna just put it as costs. Good. Created, so the day that record or that item was created, date, time. Then I have ID, very important. Let's see what else. So I have a bunch of columns. So there's a way to actually escape this. So when you put in your URL, make sure it's on 2.0. All right, before you when it's on 2.0, also change your settings under advanced to default columns, not all. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to select the columns that I need, and I'll remove every other column. So to do that, I'll select the first column, which is venue name. I'm going to press Ctrl on my keyboard to multi-select damage observed. We need this guy's status, so make sure you're pressing Ctrl on your keyboard. Date fixed, when that item was fixed, we need it. Date inspected, let's take it. Comments, we need comments. Next, we're gonna select costs, ID. Okay, what else? Okay, so I think those are the columns that we need. So what I'm going to do, having selected those few columns, I'll put my cursor on the column and I'll right click. I've multi-selected, right click, and I'm going to remove other columns. Now, you have remove columns. If you use remove column, it is going to remove the columns you selected. But in this case, the columns we selected are the columns we want to keep. So we're going to use remove other columns. All right, so just do that. Good stuff. So you can see from about 32 or 33 columns, we have 8 columns left. All right, so you can see them: venue name, damage observed, status. So where I have my dates fixed, I'm going to change the data type to currently it's on date time. So I'll click on the icon beside date fixed and I'll change it to just date instead of date time. All right. Let's see, you have dates inspected, inspection dates. I'm gonna do the same thing, change the data type to just dates. So my cost, the data type is already in fixed decimal, so there's no need to change it. So basically, I've transformed my data at this point. Just very simple transformation, nothing too technical. So once you're done transforming your data, the next thing you need to do, remember the name of my table is facility maintenance app. I already have that here by default. The next thing I'm going to do is to hit the close and apply button, which is directly beneath the file ribbon button. So you have close and apply at the top left corner of my screen. I'm going to click on the drop down and I'll select close and apply. So at this point, Power BI would close the Power Query editor and apply those changes, those transformation, and load the data for me in my Power BI desktop. So we've been able to extract our data from the list, we've transformed the data, and we've loaded the data into Power BI desktop. That's what we call the ETL. So now this is my Power BI desktop view. All right, I'm going to do another video just walking you through the interface of your Power BI desktop application. All right, but for now we have some major things that we want to work with. All right, so this is the point where we begin to build our visuals. All right, so this is my canvas here. All right, where I can create my visuals with simple drag and drop. I'm not going to write any line of code to do my data analysis. So the first thing I'm going to do is to I want to bring in a logo. All right, so I'm just going to come here to insert. All right, then I would go to image. So I want to insert, and this is it. Good stuff. All right, so I've inserted my logo here. So you could just go online, download the logo. All right, and then you can insert it here. All right, so I have the logo up here. You can also resize as you deem fit. All right, you could just play around that when you're working on your own reports. Okay, good stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to insert a title header. All right, so this is a facility maintenance report. All right, so we're going to bring it as our title header, facility maintenance report. So to do that, I'm going to bring in a text box. All right, and then I'm going to type that facility maintenance reports. All right, so I have that, my facility maintenance reports. So the next thing I'm going to do is to work on the font size and the font type. All right, so I'm going to do a Control A here. I'm going to set this guy to area black. Let's see, what font size should we use. Let's try 40. All right, I'm just going to resize. Okay, so I might have to reduce the font size. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna put this guy here. Bring this guy up here. Good. Bring this guy here. Good stuff. So I'm just gonna reduce that size to, let's see, a 36. Let's make this guy come to the middle. Okay. What color should we give it? Should we give it a blue? Okay. I'm going to bring it down here. Okay. Then I'm going to reduce this guy a little bit. So most times where we create our reports, you might actually spend a little time trying to make sure that it looks very presentable. Okay. So I think this is not bad. Okay. So this is a good start. One thing I'm going to do here is to include something to it. I'm going to come to I'm going to quickly format this guy. Effects. Let's turn on the shadow. All right. Yep. So the position of the shadow should be just the bottom. Yes. So we're going to have this. Okay. So we have our title, we have our logo, so we can proceed to okay, we can proceed to create our visuals now. All right, so the first thing I want to do is to find, I'm going to, on my field span to the right side, I'm going to click on this drop down, and then I'm going to add my cost. I'm going to select my cost. So once I click on the costs icon here, it comes up with a column chart. But while that chart is still selected, can you see I will override it here with a card visual. So come to your visualization pan, which is here, and then you can see this 1 2 3 icon. Once you put your cursor there, it shows that it's a card visual. So I'm going to select it as a card visual so I can see the total cost. I can come here to edit that guy, non good stuff, so I can see the total cost. So I will change the display units to none, and let's see the font. The font color, let's use the blue that we've been working with. Okay, then I'm going to come here. My category, I would also change it to blue, or let's use the darker shade of white. Okay, and let's see one more thing. I will come to my general here, effects, and I'm going to put turn on the border. The rounded corner should be 10. All right. What color should I use for that guy? I'm going to use this darker shade, and let's see. So I have something like this. All right. I'll just like increase the size a little bit. All right. Okay, good stuff. So we're not done, we're still building. All right, so let's position this guy here. Okay. All right, good stuff. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to add 4 more card visuals. All right, so I'm just going to do like okay, let's create another card visual from scratch. All right, so let's make this guy almost half the size. All right, so I'm going to add my so total number of complaints. So on this facility maintenance app, people make complaints, right? So I'm going to use this ID to show the total number of complaints. All right, and so I have this guy here. Let me quickly format it. My callout value. Let's reduce the size to let's reduce it to 20. No, so small. Let's make it 30. All right, let's reduce this guy to 30. And good. I'll click on general. So I'm going to add a color to this guy. What color should we use now? Okay, so I'm going to use different colors on my report. So you can use your intuition to choose the color of your choice. All right, so let me use this guy. Is it too dark? Let's see. Okay, so I'll use the darker shade and adjust the transparency. All right, let me set the transparency to 20. Okay, I think it's better. Good stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do for the visual border, I'll turn it on. I'm going to use that same color, and then the rounded corner should be 10. All right, good. Then I'm going to close the effects, and let's go to visual here. I'll click on this guy, which is the callout value. All right, let's change the color to white. Let's make this guy white, and then let's make it bold. Good stuff. Yeah. And then the category label also, let's make it this shade, this first shade of white. All right, and then let's reduce the size also to 11. All right, good stuff. So now on my visualization panel, where you have format your visual, I'll click on this icon that says add data to your visual. All right, and then I'm going to rename this guy total complaint. So where you have count of ID in my fields here, I'll just click on it and I'll call it total complaint. total complaint. All right, and I'll hit enter, so it changes to total complaint. Let's see, so this is what we have. All right, so I'm just going to do something here very quickly. Let's reduce the size of this guy a little bit. All right, let's reduce it a little bit. Yeah, and I'm going to copy this guy, Control C. All right, and I'll do a Control V. Can you see that? And I will do another Control V. All right, and bring this guy here, and do a final Control V and bring this guy here. So I have 4. Make sure they are properly aligned. You can see the red line on mine. So this first one is for total complaint, right? Let's make the other one for fixed, so fixed complaints. All right, so what I would do here, still using the same field because it's just a copy and paste. Now you can see my filter pan here. If yours is closed, you can just click on this guy here to open up the filter pan. Then where I have status, I'm going to drag my status from my field pan. You can see status here, and I'll put it here on those first one that says filters on this visual. Where you have add field here, I will drop it here. Just do exactly that. So let's filter that card visual to show us fixed. So I'm going to come here to say require single selection. I'll check the box, and then I'm going to say fixed. So it filters, and then it's showing me that I have just 4. All right, so the next thing I will do here, where I have my fields, where I have total complaint, I would rename it to fixed. All right, fixed, enter. Good stuff. Now the next thing I want to do is to also change the color. All right, what color should we use? So I'll come here to format your visual, this icon up here. I'll come to general, I'll come to effect, and then border color, background color rather. Then I'm going to change the background color to, what color should we use here? Let's see what this gives us. Is this cool enough for you, or should we try this? No, undo. So let's use the previous one. Good stuff. So this is for fixed. All right, so I'll come here and try a similar thing here. All right, I want this guy to be let's see, in progress. So I'll come here, select this third one, this 10 down here. All right, and then take your status, drag it, drop it here, and say require single selection. Make sure your status is dropped in the filter pan where you have filter on this visual. Very important, very important, very important. So I'm going to say let this guy be in progress. So it changes from 10 to 3. Can you see? I'm not writing any line of code, and then I'm already doing my analysis. All right, good stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do here, let's rename it. So on my visualization pan here, up here, add data to your visual, select that guy, rename this guy to what? In progress. All right, in progress. Enter. All right, so let's change the data color. What color should we use at those points? So I'm going to click on format your visual here, come to general, click on background. Under effects, you have background. Open that guy up. Let's say more color. Let's look for something greenish. All right. Okay, now in case you want to use the same color code that I'm using, you can see the color code here. So you could just copy this color code, it will bring out the same shade of green for you. So this guy is good, in progress. Now the last one is this guy, and we want this guy to be what? New complaints. All right, so let's first of all change. Okay, let's add the status. So take status from your field, take it, click on it, drag and drop. You can see your data analysis is all drag and drop. Require single selection and say new. So it shows you for new. Good stuff. So now under my visualization pan, remember, format your visual, general, effects, background. Let's change the background color to what? Let's change the background color to let's have something reddish. Right, yes, good stuff. I think this is a very cool color. All right. Okay, so I have it. So you can see I have 10 complaints, 4 fixed, 3 okay, we've not renamed this guy, so let's call this guy new. So click on it under visualization pan where you have fields here, double click on that guy, call it new. All right, enter. So we have new. All right, so now this makes sense, right? If you want to switch it, you can also switch it. All right, so let me do that for you. So I have new. I'll bring new up here. I don't want it too close to each other. All right, and then I'm going to bring this guy here. Let's see. Okay, good stuff. So let's see. So everything is properly aligned. All right, so we've been able to successfully create those visuals. So out of 10 complaints, you can see their analysis, the breakdown. All right, so let's try something else again. What else can we do? What else can we do? So I'm going to come to my visualization pan and I would select. Remember, I'm not clicking on anything. In fact, click once on the canvas. All right, on my visualization pan, I would select a donuts chart. So it populates a donuts chart here, but it's blank because I've not added any fields to it. So the next thing I'm going to add my venue name. All right, so on our data, we have just 3 venues. So I'll add my venue name and I will add what? What should we add to the venue name? Let's add the cost. All right, let's add the cost. So I'm going to bring this guy here. All right, I'm going to bring this guy here. Let's try do this. Good stuff. So I have my cost here. So let's quickly clean up this visual. So I'm going to come to my visualization pan, select on this format your visual here. The first thing I want to do, let me rename the title of that visual. Let's call it in here, I'll just do a Control A. Let's call it cost by venue. All right, cost by venue. Good stuff. Enter. So we've renamed that guy. All right, the next thing I want to do is to say, now I don't like the color it's giving me inside there. All right, so I'm going to let me see, come to visual here, come to slices. All right, so let's see, let's change it to the color that we're using. This guy, boy, is too thick. So let's try a lighter shade of this guy. Okay, this is fine. Let's see for this guy. Let's try which one now. Let's try the green. Let's try the blue. I think it's supposed to be this shade. Yes. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to click on my donut chart once again. I will come here, format your visual, and I will come to data label. Then the label content, show me just value, data value. So I'm going to select data value here. So it's displaying just the data value for me. Then I want to see, I will open up my data value. Display unit should be none. All right, yes, display unit should be none. Good, so I think we're good with this guy. Now, I don't need to see the title of my legend. So I would open my legend up and I would open the title here and I will turn it off. All right, so I don't need to see the title. Good stuff. All right. What else? What else? What else? What else? Then I think we can add another visual to our report. All right, let's see. Let's add one more visual to our report. I'm going to select a, so make sure you click on your canvas. You're not selecting any visual, so Power BI doesn't override it. All right, so let's come here and select this guy. So I'm going to add fields to this visual. So I selected a stacked bar chart. So what field am I adding to my stacked bar chart? Venue name, first of all. So I'll come to my fields pan here, select my venue name. The next thing, I'm going to select the ID. All right. So we want to see the number of complaints per per venue. So what venue has the highest number of complaints? We can see Sapetro, Chapel, and Queen Esther. All right, so let's see this guy. So I'm going to try to position that guy properly. All right, but before I do that, let me reduce this guy a little bit just to create more space. All right, so having done that, I could just select all of this guy and then use my keyboard pad to shift them towards the side. All right, good stuff. Not too far. Let's see. Okay. So I always like to ensure that my visuals are properly aligned. So I'm going to shift this guy away from the wall. Yes. And I would shift this guy also a little bit closer. Okay. And I'm also going to shift this guy closer. And let's select this guy. Yep, and bring it a little bit here. Okay, so my visuals are properly aligned. So let's come to this guy that we just added to the report. All right, so the first thing I want to do is to change the name. All right, change the name. So I will come to my visualization and click on format your visual, this icon here, come to general, come to title, let's call it complain caused by venue name. All right, complain and caused by venue name. All right, so for this guy, I'm going to change the visual first of all. Let me change it to a line and stacked column charts. All right, let me change it to a line and stacked column charts. All right, so I already have my venue name on my x-axis, my y-ID is count of ID. So I'm going to add costs. So I'll just drag costs from my fields here, add it to my line, line axis. All right, I'll add it there. Good. So now let's come and format that visual. So I'll click on format your visual here, come to general. Let's start with the title. Come here. I'm going to do a control A and I'll call it what? Complain. And I could use a shorthand for that. And what? Costs, complain and costs. All right. By what? By venue. So the user or the reader can understand what we are analyzing. So that's for my title. So I'll come to my visual here and let's see. So let's start with the x-axis here. I will come to the title and turn it off. Good. Then for my close the x-axis, let's check the y-axis, turn the title off. All right, we already know what is there. Then I have my secondary x-axis turned it. Okay, the title is also off. Good stuff. Okay, so the next thing I want to do here, I want let's see. Let's change the color first of all. So I'll come to columns, the default color here. So if I want to change the color one by one, I'll just click on show all and then I can edit that. But no, we don't want to do that. So which of those colors? We have 4 colors that we're working with. Which of those colors should we use? So I would go with the gold, right? All right, seems cool enough. So let's go with this guy. Should we increase the shade a little bit? No, undo. All right, so let's go with this guy. And then for the line, where are you? So this is the line here. So let's see, the line color should be, what color should we use for the line? Should we try white? No, too light. Let's try something else. Let's try this guy. Okay, I think this guy is actually good. It comes out well on that gold. All right, so we're going to go with this guy. Let me see. I need to increase the, yeah, something like this. Okay, so I would have to do the same thing for these guys, but I have to pick everything at once. Let's see. Okay, let's see for this guy. All right, then for this guy, I would have to mark all four of them. So this my 10, 3, 4, 3. This is my card visual. Mark those four. I'll do a Control G. All right, and then I can also increase the size by default. All right, so that's just the trick there. So I'm going to press a Control on this, and on this, starting from the card visual, and then I'll just bring them down a little bit. They are too close to the title, you understand? So we just use my keyboard to bring them down a little bit. All right, so oopsie, having done that, okay, I'll click on my canvas, then I can proceed. We're almost done here. Let's see. I want to bring in a table visual. So I want to bring in two more visuals and we're good to go. I mean, a very simple report, nothing complex. So I'm not writing any line of code. I'm not writing any DAX. Just something very simple, drag and drop that you can build on your own. All right, so let's bring in a table visual. So I will come here. Remember, don't select any of these visuals so that it doesn't override them. Um, uh, let's see. So I'll come here and select, this is a table visual. You're under my visualization pan. Once you hover your cursor there, it shows you the name of the visual by default. So it brings out this table here, and then I'm just going to resize it. All right, so let's just resize it to this fits. Okay, good stuff. So this is it. Now, what fields do I want to add to it? So the first one I want to add is my venue name. So I'll just come to my fields pan and just check venue name. The next I want to add is damage observed. All right, so at every point in time, I want to see the damage observed. Then issue status. So my status, I'm going to come here, add my status. Then inspection, let's see. Is it inspection date now? Okay, so I have comments, right? So let's pick our comments. All right, then I also have cost. Let's select the cost. What else? Should we pick the inspection dates? All right, so let's see the inspection date, and if that item has been fixed, the fixed date. Now, when I selected inspection dates under my visualization pan here, down here, can you see this date of inspection? Just click on the drop down where you have date of inspection. From date hierarchy, just change it to date inspection, and for date fix, click on that drop down, change it to date fix. All right, so it reduces it for you, but I don't like what I'm seeing there. So come to this is my report view. Let's go to the data view. Remember I said I'm still going to do an exploration of the Power BI desktop interface. So on the left side of your screen, put your cursor on this second icon here, which is data. Click on it. Now come to date fixed, and then when you select that column called date fixed, come to your format up here, click on this drop down. Let's use the month, day, year. So click this guy. It changes your date formats to you. The same thing for dates inspected. Click on that guy. Where up here where you have formats, click on this drop down. You will see month, day, year. This guy, select it, good stuff, and then it will re-edit those guys for you. So let's come to our report view. This is the report view here. So you can see that it has reduced that item. All right. So let's quickly format this table visual. So I'll come here to format your visual under my visualization. Let's start with the style. This is default. What should we use? There are different types here. There's alternating row, contrast alternating row. No, I don't want this guy. Let's try alternating row. Okay, this is not bad. We can manage it. I just need to take out that black. All right, so let's go with this guy. I think this guy is cool, so I'll drop this guy. Grid. Let's turn this guy off. Let's see. Yeah, just turn it. I think you can turn it off. Okay, so let's start with the column headers. So where I have total, first of all, turn this total off. Yes, turn it off, please. We don't need it. Then come to your column header. Now, the background color for the column header, that's where you have that black. What should we change it to? Can we just use something that is not shouting? Let's see this shade of gray, this shade of white rather. Okay, so I think this guy is actually good enough. So let's try and use this guy. He seems a little bit cool. All right, good stuff. So then for the text, let's increase the column header text a little bit to 12 so that it's visible. All right, so I'm just going to close my column header. I'm going to do one or two other things here. So where I have my, where is it? It's not grid. Is it grid? Width. Let's see. No, not this. Not this. Yes, option row padding. So where you have your row padding, so let's increase the row padding. It's just increasing for, okay, for grid. Let's increase the row padding. Yeah, I'll put it at 20. I mean, it's a table visual, so you can always scroll up and down. All right. Let's see. Let's see column header option. See what else? What else? Value. Let's check this guy. Okay, so I think we're good here, right? Uh, so I'm going to do something now. So where you have your visualization, you click on this first icon that says add data to your visual. So this venue name, let's rename it to just venue. All right, enter. Then where you have damage observed, rename it to just damage. All right, enter. Status is fine, comment is fine. Sum of cost, rename it to just cost. Enter. What else? What else? Then you have date inspected, date fixed. I think we can leave those guys the way they are. So what I'll just do is to come here and increase these guys a little bit. Just come to the column headers, and you know the way you do on Excel now, just increase it a little bit. So it's basically about the visuals and how so where I have date inspected and date fixed, let me rename it to just inspected, enter, and fixed. So to do that, just double click on it here. You can see my cursor. So inspected and fixed. So it gives us more space to walk around with in our report. All right. So I'm going to try to expand this one called fix. Then I can increase the costs. It's a little bit tricky. So just Trying to get this guy to cooperate with me. Okay, let me click on it first. Uh, Almost there. Okay, I got ya. Yes. Okay, so let's see. I think we're good. Let's increase the venue also. All right, good, good stuff. So I'm going to come back to format your visual. We're almost done here. All right, and column header, let's try to the text, let's try to make it bold. Yeah, so it's visible enough. Then where you have the value, let's increase the font size a little bit. Let's use 11. 10 seems to be small, so let's use 11. So since I'm doing that, I'm going to remove damage so that I don't have to scroll to the side. Okay, so this seems fine. Then I'm just going to click out. Okay, so this seems fine. Let me select this visual again and reduce the overall height a little bit. Yeah. All right. So this is our facility maintenance report. One more visual and then we're done in developing or creating our report. So I'm going to use a stacked column chart. All right, so I'll just come here to use a stacked column chart. This is it. So it fits properly here already once you select it. All right, just to show you, can you see it fits properly? So what fields do I want to add to this guy? First of all, I want to see my venue name, and then I want to see the count of complaints, and then I want to take my status, drag it, put it inside legend here. So venue name is on x-axis, y-axis has the count of complaints, which is ID. Status is for legend, is in the legend field. Of course, the first thing I want to do, it's looking kind of off, so I will quickly come to my format your visual. Under the visual, come to columns. Fixed has a blue type of color, right? So let's change fixed to blue. Is that the shade we've been working with, or is it this shade? Okay, so this is one way to find out. Come here, click on this, come here, come to general, go to effect, open, and then close it. Then come back here, come to visual, column, come here, select the last one. Okay, that's it. Then I have in progress. In progress is a green, so which is this guy. And then I have new is what? New is this guy, I believe. All right, so we've added the color there. All right, so one thing I'm going to do here, let's see. So I've adjusted the data label. So come to the x-axis up here. Let's turn off the title. All right, good. Then what else? The y-axis, let's do the same thing, turn off the title. Good stuff. What else? The legend can is best fits there on top, so let's leave the legend. So I think the only thing we need to do here is general, then come to title, and then I'll come here, click inside the title, do a control A. Let's call this guy venue name by status. um Venue name, all right, or venue complaint by status. All right, good stuff. Enter. So that's fine now. Can you see that? Okay, but I think, yeah, I think that's it. Well, good. I mean, something very simple, straightforward. Okay, let's try one more thing. So for the overall report, the what's it called now? Uh, Okay, so let's see for the background. So I'm not clicking on anything now, all right? So I'm just on the white on the canvas, all right? So I will come to visualization, come to format your visual. You see canvas background, the color. Let's change it to something dark and then change the transparency, all right? Okay, good stuff. So see the color I picked, this guy, all right, and then this is the transparency. Let's set it at, so I'm just going to increase it here. Hmm? I just want something very cool. Okay, let's see. This is at 90, is perfect. Comes out well. Good stuff. So let's see. Let's see. Okay. So I think the 90 is actually very perfect. This looks very simple and amazing. All right. I mean, this is very beautiful. So now one of the work of a data analyst, aside creating a very, very beautiful visual. So let's come to this our card visual here. Click on it. All right. Come to format your visual. Go to your callout value. Make it bold. Good stuff. Good stuff. So can you see that? All right. So now this is our facility manage maintenance report. So let me click on this guy again and let me see effects, background color, the transparency. Okay, too much. I just want to adjust the transparency. Let me make it 50. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Let me see if I can put a space here, or better still, how does it look when I do this? All right. So I mean, this is something very simple, beautiful, straight to the point. Let me try to adjust these guys to come up higher. All right. And then let's bring this guy higher. Let's see. Let's make this guy align also. Good stuff. So I mean, this is something very simple and beautiful and lovely, straight to the point. Well, I'm not really a UI person, but I mean, this is not bad. All right. Okay, so let's look at the analysis now. So we have 10 complaints, all right, that we've registered on the application. Out of those complaints, 3 are new, very recent. 3 are in progress. They are fixing it, they are working on it, but it's not completed. And 4 has been completed, fixed. What's the cost of this 10 complaints? This is the cost, $4,475. All right. Now, if you should look at the venue, which venue are they carrying out those maintenance? I have 3 types of venue. There's Sapetro, there's Queen Esther Hall, and there's Chapel. And you can see the distribution that Sapetro consumes more cost in terms of cost of maintenance as compared to Queen Esther and Chapel. All right, but if you should look at this other visual here where you have complaint and cost by venue, all right, you can see Sapetro has the highest number of complaints. You have 4 complaints there, followed by Chapel and Queen Esther. But in terms of cost, Sapetro has the highest number of complaints and also has the highest number of cost. You have $2,450. But Chapel and Queen Esther has the same number of complaints, but the cost of maintenance for the Chapel is what, $725, while for Queen Esther is what, the cost is what, $1,300. So you can see that although Chapel and Queen Esther has the same number of complaints, the cost to fix the complaints in Chapel is lesser when compared to what, Queen Esther. So it's easier to fix Chapel, all right, or more cheaper to fix Chapel as compared to what, to Queen Esther. So these are the insights that you can get. So the number of complaint is not really the issue when it comes to financial analysis. You look at the cost to actually carry out those maintenance, not necessarily the number of complaints. So you can have a higher number of complaints and the cost of maintenance is very low. All right, so this is the kind of insights that you can bring out from a simple facility maintenance report. All right, and then you can see here venue and status in terms of the progress of the work there. You can see fixed, in progress, and new. So you can see the number of complaints that have been fixed, the number that are in progress, the number that are new across Sapetro, Chapel, and Queen Esther. And then here you have a table visual where you have the venue, the damages. You can see in written text the damages, the status, the comments, the costs, the inspection date, and the fixed date. All right, and you can scroll that down. So at this point, what I'm going to do is to publish those reports to my Power BI service. All right, so let's see. I will come here and let's open here, or better still, come here to my office.com, my Microsoft 365. I will click on the menu here and I would click on Power BI. So open up my Power BI for me. All right, so my Power BI is loading. So I'll just come here and let's see. I have my workspace, right? So I'm going to publish this report to my workspace. So remember, on your Power BI desktop, you need to be signed in. So let's do that. So I'm going to come here and I'll come to my home ribbon tab and I would say publish this report to Power BI service. But Power BI desktop is asking me, do you want to save your changes? Of course, save this for me. So let's call this guy facility maintenance facility maintenance reports rather. All right, facility maintenance report. So I'm just going to save it here. I'll just save it here. So now that file is saved on my device, I can now publish to my workspace. So once you hit the publish button, select the destination. So select my workspace and then hit the select button. Power BI would publish this report to your Power BI service inside my workspace, and then you can go to your app, your Power Apps, and embed this report from Power BI service into your Power App. So you see the upload, the publishing is successful. So I'll click on got it and enjoy using Power BI, yes, and all of that. So just cancel this. So I'm going to take you to Power BI service and I will just refresh my browser. Wait for it. Good. Browser refresh. Come to my workspace and can you see you have it here, facility maintenance report. I will click on it and it's going to open the report. Can you see? Very beautiful. All right, so this is my report in Power BI service. All right, you can see the total cost, complaints in progress, days, fixed, new. You can see cost by venue, cost and complaint and cost by venue, complaint by status, and you can see the table visual showing you everything. Your title is there, your logo is there, and this is a simple way to build your report in Power BI desktop. I'm sure you enjoyed this session. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel to receive more updates on Power BI, on Power BI basically. Thank you very much. All right.